Now, your forecast first, sponsored by Matex Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
It was a nice day today, much more quiet than yesterday when we had all the storms coming through. Now, though, our temperatures with all the sunshine out there have been able to rise into the middle and upper 80s. 85 degrees in Danville, Champaign, Decatur, 87 in Lincoln, 83 in Effingham. And you do notice on the radar just a few little spots out there. They're very isolated. We'll show Storm Tracker Doppler here in just a moment. Casey Summers weather camera on our roofing dog on it does show those nice pretty blue skies with a lot of fair weather cumulus clouds out there. Winds are out of the west right now, under 10 miles per hour. The backyard forecast should be good, and we're actually calling for some pretty comfortable days here in the next few days before the heat and humidity returns for the weekend. WCIA 3 News starts right now.
Now from WCIA 3 News.
More COVID-19 infections are spreading in some parts of the state, why a clampdown could be in the works. Plus, one police chief has been cleared of misconduct after complaints, why some say they should have been part of the investigation.
They caught my neighbor's barn and his motorhome.
And cleanup continues today after yesterday's tornadoes left damage across 2 counties.
You're watching your local news leader. This is WCIA 3 News at 5.
But our numbers now appear to be gradually rising, and that's very concerning.
Higher COVID-19 infection rates in parts of southern Illinois could mean tighter lockdowns coming soon. Good evening, I'm Jennifer Roscoe. Central Illinois remains well below the public health thresholds. But today, Governor Pritzker warned the Metro East region is dangerously close to falling backwards. Our Capitol Bureau Chief, Mark Maxwell, is live in Springfield tonight. So, Mark, what happens if one region or another starts to see a resurgence?
Jennifer, that's a great question. We wouldn't go all the way back to a full phase 3 if you recall that, but there could be incremental changes that are zeroed in and focused on specific industries or places that might have a similar effect. For example, the city of Chicago just earlier this week announced that it would no longer allow taverns who don't serve food to let anybody inside to buy alcohol at the bar indoors. They can still do curbside delivery or pickup there or seat people outdoors, but that's one example of what the state could do elsewhere. And could require little tweaks and changes around these different regions. Now, as you mentioned, Central Illinois remains the best in the state with just about 2% of the people who get a test coming back positive. But closer to St. Louis, the Metro East part of the state is up to an average of around 7% and rising. If that trend continues, the governor says the Department of Public Health could come in and start to clamp down.
The state will take immediate action to impose additional mitigations if a region crosses over the metrics that we set. And Metro East is coming dangerously close to that.
So what does that look like if the state comes in? It could change region by region. I should also note that Sangamon and Christian counties are not lumped in with Champaign and the eastern part of the state. They're their own region. The positivity rate a little bit higher in Sangamon County in our region on this side of Central Illinois. But it depends on where these hotspots start to show up. The first array of options could limit those indoor seating options. They'll put higher capacity limits in place to make sure that no large gatherings happen. Governor Pritzker also pointed to 2 states next door. Missouri, that has a much higher infection rate than ours, does not require masks. But just today, Indiana's governor announced that they will have a mask mandate in Indiana. Governor Pritzker adding this note, he spoke directly to virus deniers, he called them, and said a mask is not your enemy. This is a quote from Governor Pritzker, quote, if you're not wearing a mask in public, you're endangering everyone around you, so the enemy is you. Reporting in Springfield, Mark Maxwell, WCIA 3, your local news leader.
Mark, thank you. Now, he alluded to those numbers in Central Illinois. We have them for you. The positivity rate for COVID-19 tests across the state did tick up another 1/10 of a percentage point to 3.2% over the last 7 days. There is a slight increase as well if you're just looking at Central Illinois. The eastern part has a positivity rate of 2.4%. The western part, 3.3%, well below that 8% threshold. There are almost 1,600 new cases. That is the highest number since June 2nd. We've had more than 165,000 total infections. 23 people have died in the last 24 hours. That total is more than 7,300. The Sangamon County Health Department says an employee at a school district tested positive. They say the person worked at the Ball Chatham School District. They're trying to figure out if anyone else was exposed, including students. The district is cleaning areas where the person had been. While the IHSA is hoping to have more answers to whether they will play sports this fall, soon, junior high athletics are waiting in a holding pattern as well. In Fisher, practice for softball is supposed to start Monday. They say they haven't gotten much guidance from the IESA so far, but they know it's hard to make a decision with things changing. In Fisher, they may have some conflicts depending on what gets decided, since their high school and junior high share the same facilities.
I know there's been talk with the IHSA maybe switching the fall sports and the spring sports. I don't know how viable that is. It would be a real facility problem for us here in Fisher, I think.
The IESA says they'll have plans for their member schools on a Friday. The Fisher Junior High athletic director says he's still hopeful his students will be able to play safely this fall. We have new details tonight after a Central Illinois police chief was cleared of wrongdoing. He was accused of misconduct at a protest. Organizers say Mahomet's chief, Mike Metzler, intimidated protesters. They also say he didn't wear a mask, which compromised their safety. WCIA3's Courtney Bunting live in our newsroom. Courtney, the village board is supporting him.
For the most part, Jennifer, yes. There were several accusations, but the village board found he was only wrong for one, which was not wearing a mask. The protest, which happened 2 weeks ago, was organized by PAIGN to Peace. They're based in Champaign. One of the organizers sent a detailed complaint to the Mahomet Village Board about the behavior of several officers, including the chief, during that event. The complaints say Chief Metzler delayed the start of the protest, intimidated people there, and touched some of them when it wasn't necessary to do so. The complaint also says Metzler wouldn't let vehicles participate in the protest when they needed them for protection. Protest organizers also feel they should have been part of the meeting to review the complaint, instead of the village board making that decision on their own.
If we're going to have a truthful investigation and we're going to find things to then spread out information, let's actually be at the table and have these discussions, because no one asked Justin Hendricks about what happened and how I felt when I was touched and provoked by the officer and the chief of police multiple times.
Village President Sean Widener didn't want to talk on camera, but he wrote a statement in defense of the board's decision. He says he believes most of the tension at the protest was because of confusion and simple miscommunication. He added that some of that was also because the protest's organizer was 20 minutes late. Widener says the village received several complaints about the same issue. Protest organizers say they plan to voice more of their concerns at the board meeting happening on Tuesday. Reporting live in the newsroom, Courtney Bunting, WCIA3, your local news leader.
Courtney, thank you. The U of I Police Department has a new chief, and she is already hard at work. Chief Alice Carey's first day on the job was Monday. She has 34 years of experience under her belt in law enforcement. She says her goal is to build on the department's strong foundation.
I think it's important that we form a community engagement team. The campus community needs us to actively listen with the circumstances that are happening with law enforcement across the country, is rebuilding that trust. But I think, the University of Illinois Police Department has that, but we want to get better at it.
Carey was the police chief at the University of Maryland. What does a pizza shop and boutique have in common? How one gave a trio of sisters the skills they needed to start a business in our town, Paris. Plus, towns are still cleaning up from yesterday's storms. Why some say they're lucky.